Hey, you guys. Welcome to my messy house and my messy hair and my messy shirt. That's the way it's going to be, me teaching you online somehow. So let's get down to it. You've seen the email. I have sent some people back their homework. Only 4 people out of 12 or 13 did the assignment, which was to write the sequel to the flash fiction, Lorraine Lopez. You still have by Wednesday to get that sequel into me. Any other homework that you haven't had it in, send it to me on email as soon as you can. Won't take any late work after Wednesday. This situation is just too weird and too time consuming, and so anyways, that's what we got to do. So on the stuff, the sequels that I sent back, you will notice that I'm up to my old tricks, circling stuff, putting squares on stuff, triangles. I told you that Show Not Tell terrorism was over, and it basically is. What I really wanted you to see how I look at your fiction, which is basically I look at your fiction like I look at your poetry. I'm asking you if you can show stuff rather than tell stuff, and those are the circles. That's not me dogging on you though. Those are just suggestions. You can take them. Those are opportunities for improvement because you guys still have to revise stuff for your final portfolios. So I've got your back. You're welcome. Okay. A few notes on things I noticed in the sequels that you should think about when you're writing fiction. Watch out for shifts in tense. That is, try to stay in a consistent tense, either present or past, rather than shifting back and forth between those. Watch out for run-on sentences that go on and on and on. I mean, sometimes those are stylistically a stylistic choice with voice, but this writing class is preparing you for other writing classes. This writing class is preparing you for work in the world. Got to speak the language of the world, basically, and so try not to go over 2 phrases in a sentence. Spelling and grammar do not really matter so much at this point. So I'm not marking that stuff on your stories so much, on your short fiction, but you are college students and you are expected to have tight spelling and grammar. So on your final portfolios, if you're not so good at spelling and grammar, get another pair of eyes to look over it. You can work with the CWC, the Writing Center, even remotely, online. Just get on their website, figure out how to do it. Anyways, you do have a short story due on April 6th, and you will be doing small group workshopping cyberly with your small group members. You guys will be looking over each other's work and helping each other out, and you will be responsible for communicating with your group members to get it done. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. T.C. Boyle. I asked you guys to read the story in here called When I Woke Up This Morning, Everything I Had Was Gone, on page 225. A few things about T.C. Boyle before we try to put this story into perspective. He's considered an American master, and I think that of the short story, I think he is a good model for you. You can see that he's a freaky deaky looking dude, pretty famous LA writer. Stories are pretty straight up, written the way, conventional way, regular paragraphs, follows all the rules for dialogue. So that's why he's a good model for you. And the characters are colorful, the situations are colorful. Um, there, there's interesting tensions going on in the plots. Um, his name, he when he first started publishing, his name, he went by the name T. Caragison Boyle. Um, his publishers eventually told him that if he made his name smaller, like T.C. Boyle, that his name could be bigger on his books. So he liked that idea, so he did that. Um, he's made a couple of his stories have been made into movies. He wrote one called The Road to Wellsville, which is a hilarious comedy about the cereal baron, Mr. Kellogg's. I would recommend that for if you're stuck in social distancing land. Also, there's a real fun movie called The Lie. It's about this guy who's got a real dead-end job, and he makes up this lie so he doesn't have to go to work one day, and it that lie follows him around and causes a lot of drama in his life. Pretty fun movie. One of the signature moves of T.C. Boyle is he sometimes puts these $10 words in his stories, these really, what I call dictionary words, words that I don't even know. And it forces me to go to the dictionary and look them up, which I think in a way it takes the reader out of the text, but you also learn something too. So, I mean, like on page 232, I think there was, what was the word? Edema. A CT scan showed edema of the brain tissue, edema, right in the middle. I don't know, I've never seen that word before. So I looked it up. Inflammation, that's what it means, inflammation of the brain tissue. He's got another word, which I call a dictionary word, on page 236 in the story, about the middle of the page. There was a pot on the stove when he got home from school, some sort of incarnadine stew with the smell of the exotic spices his mother never used. Mace, cloves, fennel, and he thought of Grace. Okay, incarnadine. What the heck? Did you look it up? You should. You know, if you see a word and you don't know what it is, underline it and look it up later if you don't want to look it up now when you're reading it. Don't just let that opportunity to learn a new word go by. Okay, so in a I'm going to end this video and start another. It'll probably be easier to upload videos if they're under 10 minutes each.